Okay, so today for literacy, we are going to read After the Fall, how Humpty Dumpty got back up again. Okay, so first off, let's take a look at the cover. What do you think about the cover, Lucas?
That it's going to be fall, and after it's dumping the fall, it's going to maybe fall.
Okay, yeah, possibly. Well, just think about what the design looks like. Would this be something that you would check out maybe at the library? What do you think about the illustrations? Alexis?
It's just like the wall and the TV.
Okay, so she's saying just look at a wall like on what TV? Okay. And Josh?
What's the name? He's probably going to tell after, like, how he recovered.
Okay, so maybe he's going to tell us a story about how he recovered. Okay, great. So what we're going to do is, as I'm reading this, I want you to think about our design process. Does anybody remember when I was talking about that?
Yes.
What was that when we talked about what subject were we doing? Yeah, for science, okay? Remember we talked about the egg drop challenge, so we're going to actually read this book, and it's going to give us some ideas of how we can do our own egg drop and see if we can protect it from falling at a really high, like a really tall height, okay? So as we're going through, you're going to be thinking about different, questions that we have. We're going to come up with some possible solutions, and we're going to actually design our containers and our project at the end of the day, like during science, okay? So we're going to come up with a plan, and we're going to test it probably next week sometime, and we'll get into groups and do all that. So as I'm reading Humpty Dumpty, I want you to kind of be thinking about that, all right? Okay.
I don't see Humpty Dumpty anywhere. I checked everyone as well.
And this is by Dan Sintat, and it's also a Caldecott medal winner. What does a Caldecott medal winner mean?
He got like the best book in the
You got an award for it, so it must be a really great one to check out. All right. My name is Humpty Dumpty. This was my favorite spot, high up on the wall. I know it's an odd place for an egg to be, but I loved being close to the birds. Then one day, I fell. I'm sort of famous for that part. Folks called it the Great Fall, which sounds a little grand. It was just an accident, but it changed my life. Raise your hand if you remember the story of Humpty Dumpty.
I think it on.
Raise your hand. Fortunately, all the king's men managed to put me back together. Well, most of me. There were some parts that couldn't be healed with bandages and glue. After that day, I became afraid of heights. I was so scared that it kept me from enjoying some of my favorite things.
Cereal. Sugar bunny. Well, just right so like that. The tiger's comes off.
Josh?
This is happy though.
Yeah.
I see the.
Those are some funny cereal names.
I see the tiger.
I walked past a wall every day, and I would think about climbing that ladder again. I really missed the birds and being high above the city, but I could never do it because I knew that accidents can happen. Raise your hand if you felt scared of something because you either got hurt doing it or you, maybe someone told you not to. Tell me what happened. What were you afraid of?
When I did my gymnastics routine.
Okay. Did you fall and hurt yourself? And so did you ever try that again? Not yet? Maybe when you get some more practice? Okay. I eventually settled for watching the birds from the ground, but it wasn't the same. It was better than nothing. Then one day, an idea flew by. Okay. I want you to turn and talk to a neighbor about what do you think his idea was? Okay, 3, 2, 1, voices off. Lucas, what did you and your partner talk about? What do you think, what's his idea going to be, you think?
He's going to fly instead of having a wall.
Okay, how is he going to fly? Ooh, I just had a connection with another book that we read last week. Anime? Rosie Revere Engineer. What did she create?
A helicopter.
She created a helicopter, right?
Cheese.
Okay. So Tucker, what do you think that his idea is going to be?
If he couldn't fly, maybe he would climb the vine.
Ooh, that's a good thought. Okay, Marvin?
He will probably make something so he can fly.
Okay, maybe he's going to create something. Okay, let's find out. Making planes was harder than I thought. It was easy to get cuts and scratches, but day after day I kept trying and trying. Do you think he should give up?
No.
Yeah. No. Yeah, he shouldn't give up.
Engineers never give up is what Wally just said.
I know.
Until I got it just right.
Wow. Hey,
That's a pretty cool plane.
I wish we could.
Yeah.
I wish that.
We fly around.
I wish that is what we took.
Henry? My plane was perfect, and it flew like nothing could stop it. I hadn't felt that happy in a long time. It wasn't the same as being up in the sky with the birds, but it was close enough.
I would be flying. Yeah. Don't want to scream. How did it aid?
Unfortunately, accidents happen. Janelle, what do you think happened to the plane? Janelle, what do you think happened to the plane?
It probably crashed.
Maybe it crashed? What do you think, Jeremiah?
It got stuck up on the wall.
Ooh, maybe it got stuck up on the wall.
Over the water.
What do you think?
Maybe it flew behind the wall.
Maybe it flew behind the wall? Ooh, Sophia?
It might have been outside, so it must have crashed into a tree.
Might have crashed into a tree. Okay. All right, let's do one more, Josh.
It probably cracked his egg.
Oh, maybe it ran into him and cracked him again? Let's find out. They always do.
It fell off. It flew over
So what happened to the plane?
the wall.
It flew over the wall. Okay, so let's think about this. What is he going to have to do to go get it?
Climb the wall.
Possibly climb it. Let's see. Do you think he's got enough courage to do that?
Yeah. No.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
I almost walked away again. But I thought about all the time I'd spent working on that plane and all the other things I'd missed. I decided I was going to climb that wall. But the higher it got, the more nervous I felt. I didn't want to admit it. I was terrified. What's terrified?
Me.
Benjamin, what's terrified?
It means you're afraid.
Was there a time that you were terrified of something? Maybe you can't think of. Marvin, what's the time you were terrified?
And when I was my first time on the bicycle.
Ooh, okay. First time on your bicycle. Isaiah?
It's the first time that the first day of school I got nervous because I had it when I was heading to preschool. I had to leave my mom and I was nervous.
Yeah. That's scary. Okay. I know all of you have some great, terrifying stories. Go ahead and whisper to someone around you and tell them your story. Okay, finish up your last thought. Eyes on me. Let's hear one story that you discussed with your partner. Kelly, your hand is up first. Let's just hear yours.
When it was the first time I went to the deep side, I almost drowned.
Ooh, the deep side of the pool. That could get anybody, right? Okay. And I'll hear the stories later because I can't get the rest of the book. I'm sure they're great. I didn't look up. I didn't look down. I just kept climbing one step at a time.
We all are afraid of heights, actually.
Until I was no longer afraid. How do you think he's feeling at this moment right now?
Happy.
What's a better adjective that we could say than happy? What do you think, Christina?
Joy.
What's another, Christina?
Confident.
Ooh, maybe he's getting his confidence back. I love it. What do you think, Sophia?
He's proud of himself for climbing up.
Proud of himself. Marvin? Maybe he surprised himself. Great. Tucker?
Excited, maybe?
Excited. I was thinking, do you think maybe he feels accomplished?
Yeah.
Like he accomplished his goal? Right. Achieved his goal. I like it.
Maybe furious.
Maybe now you won't think of me as that egg who was famous for falling.
Uh-oh.
Hopefully you'll remember me as the egg who got back up.
Oh. No. Wait, all the bandages are coming off him. Where?
Yeah, because he
Ooh.
grabbed it.
Where?
Hold on, Lucas had an observation. Go ahead and tell us.
All of his bandages are falling off.
All of his bandages are falling off. That's interesting.
Like
Why do you think they're falling off?
Because,
What does it say? Crack, crack.
he's gonna break.
Mia thinks he's breaking apart. Why isn't it falling? What do you think?
He's gonna fall.
Janelle, what do you think?
I think he's going to heal back up because it fell off.
Maybe he's going to heal back up. What do you think? What did you notice?
Kind of like
Better.
fall. It's like he's changing also.
Ooh, she noticed the leaves like it's kind of turning into fall. It looks like he's kind of changing.
That's why I said it was like a fall. Because all the leaves.
Whoa! Tell him to do it. Tell him to do it. He was at 8. Turn into
Oh, I see light bulbs going on whenever everybody said.
a butterfly.
Lucas, what happened?
That he hatched and now he's a bird. Because that's what happens to eggs. They hatch and then they turn into like things, like birds.
He was an egg, and he hatched.
As a bird.
I thought he was a butterfly. What I had in my head.
And learned how to fly.
Wow. His dreams.
Hey, pants came off.
Yeah.
Anime had a connection.
His
His dreams kind of came true because didn't he always love the birds? I felt like he was always dreaming about the birds, right?
How come we
So now, what do you think about Humpty Dumpty when you hear about the story? Can you think about, well, maybe he got trapped because he's going to turn into a bird? Aiden? Aiden? That's okay. All right. All right. So let's think about how this story could help us design our egg drop challenge. We're going to get into teams this afternoon, and you're going to come up with your own design process. All right, Benji? And you're going to come up with we're going to have eggs, and we're going to you need to try to protect them, and we're going to drop them outside from a really tall area, probably over by the recess, like right over by the benches and stuff where we can drop it. Yeah, so we're going to see which team can keep their eggs safe without cracking. Because guess what? Our eggs aren't going to turn into birds, all right? They're just going to, like, crack everywhere. So, real quick before we end, let's do a quick summary of the book. So, let's summarize this story. So, what happened at the very beginning? Tucker?
He was on the wall.
Yeah, Humpty was on the wall, right? Where we saw him from last, and then what happened?
And then he cracked into an egg.
He fell, right?
And he transformed into a leopard.
Who got him put back together?
No, wait, a
The Kingsmen pulled him back together. Because does anybody know the rhyme? Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall.
Humpty Dumpty had a great fall.
All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. But guess what? They did, like a little. And then he went through the rest of his, like, days just not, like, afraid. What happened at the end?
He turned
into a bird. Okay. All right. So, yeah. You guys did an amazing job. We're going to get ready for lunch. So go ahead and just sit quietly for just a second. Oh, you want to wave bye?
Wow. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Sit down. Have a seat. Godzilla.